And our panel members are too energetic to be talking on top of their voices. Thank you so much. To begin with, let me start from Madam Irene Duncan Nadanusa. Please, can you walk us through a brief history of NAT? I mean NATLAS. Yes. Because I know once you've been a General Secretary of NATLAS, if I don't specify, you are going to talk about NAT. So I mean NATLAS. And then, if possible, you share with us some of the trailblazers and the lessons we can learn from them. Thank you so much. Please, there is a mic over there.
Thank you very much, my dear. Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon, ladies. And I see some gentlemen around. So good afternoon, everyone. And today I'm very happy to be here. In fact, I would have missed it if I was in two minds whether to come or not. But as soon as I stepped in here, I felt the vibe. I felt the vibe. I've seen that.
Thank you.
I've seen that I've grown too old. 40 years is a long time.
Sure.
You want me to walk you through it?
Sure.
Okay, thank you very much. I must say that when I came into NAT, when I started working in NAT, NATLAS had already started. It had started in 85. If I started working in NAT in 1992, and I started as a Deputy General Secretary.
Wow. And
that was even a lot, something to be talked about, a lot for some people to chew. But I walked into the headquarters as a Deputy General Secretary, and which hadn't happened before, because the terrain was supposed to be a male terrain. They will tell you that this work is not for women. Of course, it's not for women, it's not for men, it's for anybody who cares to start tackling it. And thank you. And that was what I decided to do.
Thank you.
So I'm just telling you this, that when you make up your mind to do something or to try something, just go there and do it. I said to myself, after all, it was a teachers' organization. And since I was a teacher and since I was qualified by the advert, I would try and do it.
So, Mommy, sorry for interjecting. Can I say it is possible?
Of course it is possible. It was possible then, and it is still possible.
Thank you.
And it will remain possible.
Thank you.
Because at that time, we didn't have a round table. We didn't start with the round table. And we didn't have a whole secretariat. In fact, there wasn't something like this where we would hold a round table. I came to meet, of course, Mrs. Baden. There were other ladies I met. She had coordinators. That's how she structured it. She had coordinators in the region. So then we had, if some of you in the Western region know, Nana Dazi, Auntie Augustine, Wilberforce, and co. They were the elderly ones. You had Mrs. Edua Mankwa in Koforidua. I mean, those were the elderly ladies she went around with doing the mobilization for younger ladies. I also wish to point out that as I take you through a walk of NATLAS in the NAT headquarters, it's sort of coincided, the establishment coincided with a time when the whole world was talking about women's empowerment.
Wow.
That was in the 80s. When everybody was talking about women's empowerment, the UN had established the Women's Decade, 1975 to 85. And women's empowerment was on the global agenda. Everyone was talking about women's empowerment at the UN, women and children, women in leadership positions, women in parliament, women anywhere, and that was the slogan, that anything that a man could do, a woman could even do better. and encouraging women to get into male-dominated areas. They were encouraging students, girls, to get more into the sciences, technology. So that is when we started having workshops on STM, the STM workshop, the science, technology, and maths workshops for girls during the long vacations. If some of you remember, I mean, I suppose many of you were too young to be part of that.
Then I must say we've come a long way.
Of course, we have come a long way, and we still have some more to go.
Sure.
Mrs. Baden, as this talk was going on, and also it just struck me that during that time, it was the period of women's empowerment that our late former First Lady, Nana Akuredu-Agyeman, she was rolling the thing on women's empowerment. All that she was doing about women and 31st December women, she was just following the agenda, the world agenda for women's empowerment. And that is when you take care of your children. If children are taken care of through the daycare centers, then women could be economically empowered. So that is how she started empowering the rural women through the Gari factories and palm oil factories and so on. It was all part of the agenda for the women's empowerment. So Mrs. Baden, before 1985, Mrs. Baden was actually the first woman. She was an acting national president. Before, she was pairing at that time with Mr. Kwabnachere. If some of you remember Mr. Kwabnachere, later he became a minister, a deputy minister for education. He used to be headmaster at Techiman Secondary School. And Mrs. Baden was then the acting, the vice president. Then she became the acting national president. And that was all during those revolutionary times. Of course, the national and the global unions, we had IFTU and WCTOP. All of these, NAT was an affiliate of WCOTP. And they came together to form Education International. And the unions, because of ILO and so on, were also talking about women's empowerment. They had started establishing women's desks, women's offices and so on. So of course, when they came back from Beijing, the World Conference in Beijing, that famous conference, Mrs. Baden then came and decided that, of course, we also have to have our women's desk in NAT. So that's how come the women's desk was established.
Okay, thank you so much. Quickly, we still want to learn something. It's been quite a journey of challenges. I might say rough roads, but we are getting there. As you said, it is possible. So we are hopeful that we will definitely get there. So mentioning the name Baden, Mrs. Baden, it means there are something that we can learn from them. Can you walk us through some of the lessons? Because if we mean to talk about GNATLAS, then we are not going to end this session today.
You see, when Mrs. Baden became national president, it had never happened in any union.
Wow.
Moreover, a teachers' union. And Mrs. Baden took over the mantle during what you would say the rough times in this country. During the revolutionary times, the political air in this country was hot. And one would say that the unions and the workers' groups were being targeted. Some were targeted as being against the revolution. But here was this lady who was leading the teachers' groups. And the teachers' group has always been controversial for government since politics in Nkrumah's days in the 60s. Wonderful. The unions, the teachers' union had always been thought of as being really too strong to control. And there was Mrs. Baden going to meetings and so on at the castle and so on with a group of men following her. And she would stand her ground. She would leave Takoradi. Of course, Takoradi was her base. She would leave Takoradi and come to Accra for a day, for 2 days, for weeks before she would return to Takoradi. And of course, one thing was that she was married to an old man. You know what that means. And a complaint. Georgina, come back. That was another challenge, to be able to do that work. Apart from the challenge you face at the workplace, the office, she was still in office as a teacher, as an officer of the GES. So she had to contend with all these fears. But of course, it required a lot of determination. Wow. And within that period, it required a lot of maturity. If you want to lead people within that period where you have all the influences, the political influence, your employer's influence, even the influence of your own colleagues at your workplace, it required a lot of maturity for you to navigate. The fact that you are a union leader itself might put you at a disadvantage, but you have to work yourself through it and let others come to like you. So it was through her, many of you were young, but when we were growing up, we would always hear, Mrs. Georgina Baden has done this, Nat is saying this, Mrs. Baden is over here, she's done that. She waded through all these challenges and even went to the international level. Wow. When EI was formed in 1993, Mrs. Baden then was elected as a vice president of Education International. At the global level. EI. She represented Africa. And she was one of the women. Of course, the global woman was Dr. Mary Futrell, also from the US. So she had to go through all.
So, Mommy, then I can say that even with Mrs. Baden, there are some qualities that we as female teachers here today can learn from her. But audience, let me remind you that as part of this session, we are going to give each region or each role an opportunity to ask questions. Yes, an opportunity to ask questions. And remember that this session is not just for television or for media's sake. It is for our sake. We need to rethink. We need to reflect today. Look at the journey. GNATLAS has come far. 40 years has not been easy. So if you are seated here, count yourself fortunate and privileged to be here. Don't just be seated, listening, tapping on your phones. Take something, take a paper, a pen, and write down something. If you cannot ask a question, you have to learn something. By the time we leave here, remember, it is always the R's. Relearn, you have to learn, and unlearn. So, as you give me your attention, and our panelists, our ever beautiful panelists are making their points, you don't just look at their beautiful faces. They are nicely dressed, their outfits, and everything. You have to pick a point from that. Mommy, this history is so interesting and inspiring. It seems like we would want to listen more. But let me quickly move to Madame Philippa Larson and ask you, Madam, thank you. What significant contributions have female teachers made to NAT over the years?
Thank you very much, Gloria. The GNATLAS Roundtable is a great platform, and I don't take it for granted being invited to be part of this discussion. I'm so grateful.
Thank you.
The Ghana National Association of Teachers, established to champion the welfare and professional development of teachers, has grown into the most influential union in Ghana's education. And while its success is often attributed to collective efforts, the contributions of female teachers have particularly been very transformative. And female teachers have not only enriched NAT's leadership and advocacy, but have also worked on social empowerment, professional development, gender equality, and all that in the teaching fraternity and beyond. And for this presentation, we are going to explore the significant roles female teachers have played in the life of NAT over the years. Notable amongst them are leadership and policy influence, professional development and mentorship, advocacy for gender equality and empowerment, early childhood education, and others that time will not permit me to mention. Now, on the leadership and policy influence, I'm happy Auntie Irene said a lot about Mrs. Baden. But women have consistently demonstrated strong leadership within that leadership structure, shaping policies that promote inclusivity and teacher welfare. And strong women have done exploits.
Wonderful.
And I will first of all mention Mrs. Irene Duncan Adanusa, the first female general secretary.
So, Mommy, sorry to interrupt. So we can say, Senya, Santifo Nekano, and Chirinkanfo who said that. You see, all this while when Mommy was talking, our lady, our evergreen, when she was talking, she didn't even mention her name. But we can see she also contributed a lot to the growth of GNAT and GNATLAS. And Mommy, we are going to celebrate you today. Thank you.
So, Mrs. Irene Duncan Adanusa, the first female general secretary, the only female general secretary until today.
Wow, wow.
The one and ever. After her, we have not had any female general secretary. And like I said when I was cutting the cake, I can't wait to see more female general secretaries. Wow. This woman spearheaded a lot of initiatives to enhance female teachers' participation in leadership and decision making. Her efforts ensured that GNAT's policies reflected gender-sensitive approaches, fostering environment and everything that, though it was a male-dominated union, she made sure that women were also given the platform to thrive.
Wow, wonderful.
Her leadership is not only limited to GNAT. She became the Vice President of Education International. Global level, not African region. The whole world. She became the Vice President of Education International, global. And this broadened GNAT's global outlook and strengthened its advocacy for women and girls in education. Now to Mrs. Baden, the first female president, a trailblazer, who broke the glass ceiling, was the first female national president. And under her leadership, she advocated for teachers' welfare, including better salaries. And that is how come salary negotiations started. She also initiated a lot of professional development opportunities. She represented GNAT and Ghanaian teachers on a lot of platforms, both locally and internationally. And after these powerful women, we have had other prominent women. A deputy general secretary for now, she's the one and only. Touch one. Touch one.
Touch all.
We have not had any female deputy regional secretary after Auntie Gifty.
Wow.
And we cannot wait to see those people coming up. She also did a lot of things. The gender desk has almost become a GNATLAS desk. All the coordinators have been women.
Sure.
And the first coordinator, Mrs. Helena Ewurusa, became the general secretary for WAWEN, West Africa Women in Education Network, and the president for AWEN, African Women in Education Network. And when you look into your document, you see the list, a tall list of all these women and the positions they occupied. Now, with all these, we have had a lot of female regional secretaries and a lot more district secretaries who are women. On the political front, we have had a lot of female officers, treasurers, trustees, first and second trustees,
Chairman.
vice presidents, and my good self.
Hey, I was going to mention that.
My good self, the second female substantive president of NAT. Yes. And all the things that we did together, and all of you, the roles you have played individually at various levels, that time will not permit me in your various classrooms. We have done a lot under leadership and policy influence.
Sure.
Now let me come to professional development and mentorship. Through platforms like the NAT Ladies Society, women have organized conferences, workshops, and mentorship programs aimed at improving teaching and learning, empowering female educators. And these initiatives normally focus on career development and branding, where women in education progress in their various professional lives and showcase their skills, their talents, and their expertise to the whole world. Under such programs, we also have the mentorship program, and during the CTF, we have a special female class called mentorship class, where we train young female teachers to be able to take up leadership position roles in the union. We also have the networking opportunities, where women network to strengthen the solidarity amongst themselves and learn from both local and foreign partners. And such programs have not only improved female teachers' competency levels, but have also inspired a lot more women to aspire to leadership positions. And within the NAT, we can now boast of 20 district chairpersons. And that is a good one. Now with that, we also have a lot of districts and regional coordinators who hold other positions in NAT and in other areas of their lives. Under advocacy and gender equality and empowerment, female teachers in NAT have really championed gender equality and empowerment through targeted advocacy programs. And Gloria, initiatives such as Women Empowerment Summit have addressed very critical issues like domestic violence, self and time management, screening for cervical and breast cancers for early detection and treatment, HIV/AIDS, legal issues, and a lot more. And these personal and professional challenges thereby enhancing their confidence and productivity levels. Specific examples can be given of the affirmative action that we have in NAT now. Now the women have advocated, and now you see that for every region, the representation to the National Executive Committee, we have a male and a female. Yes. Now let me inform you that in those times, we had only male regional chairs.
I won't be surprised.
And NAT saw the sense in the fact of what the Bible has stated, that we are made as helpers. And so NAT saw the relevance of women and stated that it became a constitutional issue, that for every region, 2 people should represent the region, and one should be a male, one should be a female, because almost all the regional chairmen were males, and so the other person automatically is a female. So at the national executive level, we have 2 people representing the region, a male and a female. If we have 2 females, the better.
Sure.
But in all cases, we have had
and
a
most
male
definitely that's
and
going
a
to be
female.
what we'll be aspiring for.
Thank you very much, madam.
Maybe in the next 40
And
years.
we also advocated for 2 special female delegates to the National Delegate Conference.
Wow, we've done a
and
lot.
that is something that NAT or females in NAT worked on. Because as a male-dominated union, By the end of every conference at every level, especially the district and the regional level, by the time they have to elect people to be in the national delegate conference, a lot of the women have left. But so we realized that during the national delegate conferences, the men really dominated. So the women fought for 2 special female delegates. Whether they are elected or not, at the end of the day, irrespective of the females elected, 2 females from each region will have to be at the national delegates conference.
Wow, that's
Now,
also a
yes, now during my tenure, we also worked for the GNATLAS rep at the national level to be a member of the National Council. And I speak with you. This is the second time we have a GNATLAS rep being at the National Council. And you have your president, who is a member of the National Council. And a lot of things time will not permit me. Now let me talk about early childhood. You saw the display.
Madam Philippa Larson, before you come to early childhood, you know, this conversation is quite interesting. So pause there a little. I'll come back to you. Let me go to our own. Touch one. All right. So I will come back to you. So please don't relax. We are coming to learn a lot. All right. Madam Gifty Apambil, considering today's educational challenges, what strategies can GNATLAS adopt to better empower female teachers in the current educational landscape?
Madam Moderator, I want to thank the organizers for this rare opportunity to be part of
Please,
this
can we
program.
give it to the organizers? Please, can we give to them once again?
Like Madam Philippa said.
Please hold on. It seems we are not happy and grateful for what the organizers have done. Is that all that we can do for them? Yes, they have actually done.
I always
well.
have a saying that there is nothing that is happening now that has never happened. There is nothing that is happening now that has never happened. Number 2, you can never force any woman in an abusive relationship to leave until that woman reaches the stage. Stage. She says herself realizing what she is in. I have made these 2 statements because I want us to reflect in ourselves what is holding us on. Madam in the chair, moderator, Nat saw these problems long ago. I have been saying that I have been handpicked by Madam Irene and Eleanor. I wanted to do politics. Eleanor called me to come and solve a problem during the revolutionary era at Michelle Camp. They were sacking all the teachers from the barracks. And she came and called me. I went to the place and I told them, how can you sack teachers and have your children alone in the classrooms? Meanwhile, my husband was an other rank, a Navy other rank man. I just went there and told him that, sir, if you sack these teachers, all your children here will go wayward. That was all I told the commandant at that place. And all the teachers were left in their accommodation. That was the time Auntie Eleanor saw me.
Wow.
What can GNATLAS do for the female teachers? The question should have been, what can the female teachers do for themselves?
Wow.
If you are prepared that I have found myself in a situation which I don't like, and I want to get out of that situation, then people can support you to get out of it. If you draw a pyramid of the profession, at the base there, that is where you will find women. Already we are overburdened with household duties in our homes. Then we come back to the school day and we are to handle 60 children in all subjects and in all their troubles, everything you alone. Ask yourself, is that where I want to be? That will inform you to do courses that will push you away from that place. Because if you don't ask that question, is that where I want to be? And you go ahead to do a course that will confine you to that place, you will remain there forever. And the frustration will be there forever. Because you come from your home with your children already tired managing your own children, and then you come to a classroom of 60 children. You are going to manage them alone with all the subjects that they have to learn. Then you teach all. You prepare lesson notes for all. Then you mark exercise books in all the subjects at that place.
Quite a lot.
Have you asked yourself, how come they are talking about the question of skirt and blouses? You do primary education, and when you go to the university, you want to do a different thing, they will tell you skirt and blouse. Have you heard that statement? Yes. NAT was very proactive to develop a program in distance education and present it to UCC. That you are upgrading the colleges. There are some of the teachers in the classroom that have set A. What can we do to upgrade those people to diploma status? They developed the program, invited them, they came, they hijacked the program, they left. Because there was money in it. All the universities adopted it and started running. I remember I was in the Eastern region when they were talking of face-to-face. And they brought all the female teachers, most of them were female teachers from the north, from everywhere, into crowded places. I went around and I sent a report to her. Some were collapsing before they decided that they would decentralize. I will wish that that baby is not baby. They should really sit down with the universities to design the programs that will meet the current needs of education so that our women can pursue it. Number 2, no one can say I am until you tell yourself that I am. No one will tell that you are. You should tell yourself that I am. Provoke yourself. Have a career path. When I joined NAT, I told myself that even in GES, I told myself that I will never work at any place for 5 years. And I never worked at any place for 5 years. In the GES, I worked at Military Academy for 2 years. I worked at Osu Presby for 2 years. I went to Chemu Secondary School 2 years, Sectec 3 years. I went to Kweshi 2 years, and that was how I just left. Because if you are comfortable with where you have found yourself, there are no longer challenges for you to progress. So before NATLAS can come in, you yourself should realize that you shouldn't be creating yourself comfort zones. It's too dangerous.
Okay, Mommy. As we move along, she has a lot for us. And because her story is so inspiring, the sun is shining on her. We don't want Mommy to get bent. Yes. No, my audience, please calm down. The sun is shining on Mommy. It is affecting, it is affecting, you see how interested you are. Sometimes we need to pause a while, reflect on everything. She has said a lot. We will come back to that. I know you want to listen more. In fact, this note, let me take a quick break.
That's our MC, and the DJ. Is the National Roundtable 2025, powered by Ghana National Association of Teachers. There will be a 3-day seminar with a contest. Supreme, the role of the female teacher in NAT. Date from the 10th to the 12th of December 2025. Venue at the GNAT IRRIS Abankro Ejisu Ashanti region. Wednesday, December 10th, arrival, orientation and briefings. Thursday, December 11th, opening ceremony, presentations and discussions. Friday, December 12th, presentations and discussions continue. Who takes the crown as Miss GNATLAS 2025, representing the Northern region. Bella, Westing, Mamiasi, Greater Accra, Kante, Easting, Kwachawa, Central, Spires, Upper East, Mma, Brong Ahafo, Aroma, Volta, Yesinyo, Ashanti, Flivia, and Upper West, Asingwini. Guest speaker, Dr. Nanekia Wiswansa. Special guest of honor, Nananyaku Abrasika III, Manson Quantaman Hima, and Richard Tanopia, the acting national gender coordinator. Miss GNATLAS 2025, GNATLAS Supreme. GNATLAS is 40 years, and this is the National Roundtable 2025, powered by Ghana.
The anthem. I believe our audience want to listen more. And our mother, our lovely lady here, touch one, you touch all. She has a lot for us. So we will quickly go back to her as she continues with her submission. Mama Gifty, please carry on.
Thank you. Not realize that women do not have time to discuss professional issues. So Auntie Irene and the executive at that time developed what we call steady cycle program, where teachers were expected to sit in the comfort of their own school and discuss issues that were affecting them. This would have been a very good platform for female teachers to discuss topical issues that are affecting their profession. That has been abandoned. Those books have vanished from our schools. If we can revisit that thing, it will help the women to develop professionally. Personally, I benefited a lot from that program. And I think that young ones will also benefit from that program. They should revisit it. They should tell that to go back to it and visit it. Then, cluster-based programs at Accra. When you call meetings, many female teachers were not coming. So the executive, we had to be very innovative. People were attending classes for promotion interviews. So I said, okay, if we will call meetings and they will not come, why don't we add topics that will help them for their interviews? Okay. And then add some of the NAT program to it. And that was as far back as 2000. We started the program and we were going to the cluster of schools. Sometimes we will not have space to let teachers sit down for the meeting. I am happy to say that when I went on transfer to the Eastern region and came back, almost all the female teachers who were attending that program were district directors and posted to somewhere.
Wow.
There is a lot we can do for ourselves. Sure. We understand our problems. No one else understands our problems better. We need to train the young ones coping skills for their triple roles.
Okay.
It isn't that they don't want to attend our meetings, but they cannot manage that triple roles that they have found themselves. So if the leadership of GNATLAS can give these ladies skills as to how to manage these triple roles, they will attend our meetings. Cluster-based crèches. GNATLAS should take up that seriously. When teachers are freed from the role of taking care of their babies, they'll be able to do effective work in the classroom.
Sure.
The debate that is going on about the low performance of the SHS.
Yes.
People are zeroing it down to the basic schools. And if you look at the basic school, we are the majority there, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
What are they then telling us? That we are not doing our work effectively. So for us to do our work effectively, we should provide crèches at our cluster of schools then that will attract outsiders to bring their children. You realize that the KGs, we are not even getting children for our KGs.
It's true.
Is it not true?
It's true, it is.
But if we add our own creches as our own initiative, then the other outsiders can bring their children. That will be the base for our KGs. GNATLAS take up that project. Then the next one is that women are people who can easily touch other people's hearts. I remember there was a school in the Eastern region, and Osofo went and built his private school and influenced the community there that there were witches in the public school. So the people withdrew all their children to his school. And the lady came and met Madam and myself, that this is happening there and they will lose their jobs. So what can we do? So we sat down, we planned, and then Madam helped us to buy a school band. And she asked me to send the team to Eastern region. We went. We organized the children to drum the drums. The day we started drumming the drums, the whole community came and joined, started dancing. The children from that private school came and joined. That was the end of that private school. It was the end of the private school. So there is a lot that we can do together.
Definitely.
You can influence the community to make the school environment better for us. Because we have the lobbying skills. Where you are working, that is your second home. If we are looking for government to come and do all for us, we will not get. So we as ladies, how we lobby the men in our homes, let us lobby the chiefs and opinion leaders in the communities to come together and improve the facilities where their children are attending. Unfortunately, we are teaching house helps, the downtrodden. Most of the people who are rich send their children to private schools. And like Madam said in her speech, we are a comforter to those children. We give them a lot of comfort. In addition to our own problems, we are expected to give comfort to those children. Help them, nurture them. And we are asking NAT, main NAT, when we are going for negotiations, we should include improved school environment for ladies, so that they can be attracted to the village schools to also encourage the village girls to go to school. What can we do again? We must have targeted programs. Targeted programs. What is needed in the city is not the same thing that is needed in the rural area. So when we are developing the programs, let us involve the teachers and let them know what they really need at their level. At the city, a teacher may need, a marker table. What is it?
Marker board.
Marker board.
Okay.
At the village, that teacher is only needing
a chalkboard.
A chalkboard, because they are sitting under a tree, and when the rain is coming, they have to carry that thing somewhere. So we have to do tailored programs to suit the teachers at the various levels. I remember that I went around, and there were failed referred teachers among us who feel very shy to open up. When a friend shares with you her problem, don't make it a topic for everybody.
Ladies, are you listening?
Else people will
Mommy,
back.
Please, sorry, can you repeat that statement?
I am saying that when a teacher comes to confide in you, at best, if you know you can't keep a secret, when she starts, tell her to stop.
Thank you.
Because when I was in active service, the resource centers were my targets. And to the glory of God, I was able to rehabilitate the whole country, 28 female teachers.
Wonderful.
Who had just little problems that needed somebody to confide in and to help them out of their problems. So help your colleagues around you. They know you, they trust you, and they know that you understand them. So when they come to you and you cannot solve the problem, look for professional help for them. Then another thing that we need to do is that nobody can come to you and say that I want to be your mentor. You can't force yourself on somebody and say that I want to be your mentor. Is it not true? Identify those people that you want to be your mentors. Approach them, and they will lead you. I am glad Madam is always with me here, but Auntie Eleanor is off late. Erasa is outside there.
Okay.
Don't put money first. If you acquire knowledge, money will follow.
Flow.
The work that I did in NAT initially was sacrificial. I was a handbag to Auntie Eleanor. She will send me to anywhere and start sleeping in the workshop. The moment she opens her eyes, she's looking for her report. And I will make sure that I will present it to her before I leave the place. During the lunchtime, we were the last people to go and eat because I have to tell her everything that went on. So that when we go for the next session, she can follow. Little did I know that she was preparing me, and I became assistant regional secretary before she died.
Wow.
She called me to her house and said, for all the sacrifices you have done, I am sending you to this workshop. Go, they will pay you plenty money. Make sure that you go and build a house and live in it, and always remember me. To God be the glory.
Thank you.
Midnight, gentleman will call me, I will go. I remember one day my husband was going for a meeting, peacekeeping. He waited for me and I didn't come. He wrote, kiss Nat. And he left it on the bed and left. When I came and told them, they laughed. The man was waiting for his last minute something before going. I didn't go.
All right, Mommy.
These are all sacrifices.
Yes.
The next one is that, hello,
Hi.
no services or no position is small. No position is small. I started as a school rep. They took me to the district. I became district treasurer. I have served as a district secretary. I have served as assistant regional secretary. I have served as a regional secretary. I have served as a deputy general secretary. And she gave me the opportunity to act as a general secretary.
Wow.
I have tasted all. I have tasted all. Madam Ibrasa will say, Gifty, come. I will come. He said, you are late. I said, oh, but you know I have to do something before coming. You sit down, and I will sit down. And then we will work. She took me through EI and everything. Before I retired, EI asked me to go and serve on their board, Global Partnership for Education. If she didn't give me their exposure, where would I have had that? Yes. Don't put money first. GNATLAS.
Mommy, sorry to cut you once again. So we can say that if you had not also availed yourself to serve, that wouldn't have happened.
That is why I'm saying that you must be ready to serve.
Sure.
And every position that you are asked to serve, don't underrate it.
Sure.
Serve and serve to the best of your ability.
And do not think about money.
No.
Money should be the last thing.
Money will come later.
Wonderful, wonderful. So my ladies, my audience, you can see that today we are really learning a lot. We have been touched and we will continue to be touched as we walk through this journey of this discussion. So, Mommy, I'll come back to you, to our beautiful black beauty, Lady Lily Otu. What practical steps can we take to grow and strengthen the ladies' wing in the association?
Thank you very much, Madam Moderator. My senior colleagues, thanks so much for answering my questions or doing the work partially for me. And before then, I also like to seize this opportunity to thank the organizers, management, national officers, all the executives here. If they hadn't given you the chance to invite us, you wouldn't have done it. So thank you so much. A lot has been said about how to strengthen, grow and strengthen GNATLAS. 40 years ago, our senior colleagues toiled and then they have done a lot for us. It's our turn now to continue with the good work that they did. I was going to talk about not being interested in money. Auntie Gifty has said that a lot of what I wrote on paper had been said by my senior sisters, my senior ladies. So I would like to add a little to it. We are lucky to strengthen and grow practical steps. It's practical steps. So practically, how are we going to maintain and sustain NATLAS? We are lucky we now have our policy to guide our activities. Good. So very soon from conference, wouldn't be found wanting at all. That alone is a very big success.
It's
that
a
we
plus.
have. Thank you very much for Madam and then the team. You know, there is another thing I can. Me fancy. Participation is very key. If it's NATLAS program and NATLAS members do not participate, how are we going to grow and nurture or continue with the good work that our senior comrades have done? We need to participate. If it's time for meetings, we have to go. We need to participate and be part of decision making so that our views will be heard, so that whatever happens, we see we are involved and then we do what is expected of us. You know, we need capacity training, capacity building workshops for training so that we get the requisite skills and knowledge to take up leadership positions. If you are voted for to become maybe a chairman at your district or whatever, and you don't have the needed skill, the requisite skill to take up that mantle, you will be found wanting. So you wouldn't even boldly take up that skill, take up that position, sorry. We need to have a lot of capacity buildings to boost our morale to work to take up leadership positions. And then, you know, we were born before computer, the BBCs. Please, when you are planning your activities, make sure you add computer skill training to it. So that at least, if you wouldn't use it at all, as classroom teachers, when you set your exam questions, you wouldn't send it to somebody to type it for you. Because you might think that if you do A wahin, B wahin, it will take a longer time for you to finish. Meanwhile, your head teacher will be on your neck collecting the questions. So with the computer skills, at least you can quickly type your own thing, edit your own thing, and then your questions will not leak. If we make our meetings boring and it's always meeting and talking, I don't think most people will attend. Let's chip in or add a lot of talks, health talks, talks on contemporary issues, and then topical issues. If we invite the appropriate personnel to our meetings to talk on certain topical issues, I'm sure we will learn a lot. So when it's time for meetings, even when it's not time for meetings, we'll be yearning to go for meetings. So we shouldn't make our meetings very dry. Screening is very, very, very key. With time, we have to invite medical personnel to screen us. You know, we the women, we have a complex body or complex nature. So screening helps us, or it helps us to detect certain ailment, and early detection to saves life. True. Prevention is better than cure. If you are screened and then they see certain illness, maybe trying to pop up its neck or whatever in your body, I'm sure that they will give you the medications that will regulate it or that might stop it at all. We also need writing skills to write short stories and then write basic books for our children. Writing skills, yes. When they invite the right personnel to take us through writing skills, with us we can, we need to reintroduce the supreme news. Because if we've gone through writing skills, and then the supreme news is reintroduced, I'm sure we can write our articles. Of course, when we see our articles being published in the supreme news, and then the comments that come, we will be very, very, very happy. We'll be excited. And then all these things, when we go for meetings, we discuss them, and then we'll be very excited. So when it's time for meetings, nobody will even prompt you that today we have a meeting or not. We will come. And then we also have to create social media handles, WhatsApp and then whatever, so that when there is a program or when we have certain problems, we put it on the platform. At least one or two people can help us out. When I started teaching in '89, it was lesson notes. These days I learned, because of PLC, we have lesson planners, we have learning indicators, and then content standards. During our days, it wasn't there. You know them, you name them. So if you have any difficulty in writing or working on these, you put it on the platform, and then at least you can get somebody to give you a first-hand information before even coming for meetings for further explanation. Or you can get somebody to explain very well for you. So, with the medical screening, it helps us a lot. So whenever we are planning our meetings, these things should be put in it. This morning, the General Secretary said something. As I'm a Christian, so let me quote Luke chapter 17, verse 17 and 18. Jesus healed 9 lepers, and only one went back to thank him. Appreciation is very, very, very important. Just as you've appreciated us this morning, we are very happy. We are very happy. So those that you started your NATLAS programs with at the various districts, please make sure that with time you appreciate them. With time you appreciate them, you call them, at least even if they are on retirement, just as we are on retirement, you've invited us. Invite them to come and say a word or two. And then I also said that we have complex natures. In the house, we have problems. At schools, same thing. So with time, organize excursion, either internationally or within Ghana, at least for a day or two. Even if it's 1 hour trip, at least we'll be happy.
Sure.
It will ease off our stress, and then we come back refreshed. And then with the screening, it prolongs our health. We know what to do, what to eat at certain times, and what not to eat at certain times. Madam Moderator, yes, I'm sure that I already said that my senior colleagues have said a lot.
I was definitely going to say that.
Yes.
I was going to ask you, Mommy, but you said you had something small to say. But what you've given us is even more than enough. It's more than enough. And we'll come back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, Madam Philippa, let me come back to you. You were going to talk about the girl child, and I believe you have something to say. So quickly, we have some few minutes to wrap up, and then you talk about it. And we'll take the last question before we go to our audience.
Thank you very much, Gloria. So with early childhood, we saw a display during the break. Teachers, female educators were singing songs that are being sung at the early childhood level. And you realize that at the early childhood level, we about 90% of the educators being females. And these are all of us here. And so at that level, we also have programs that will improve or build on our capacity so that we'll be able to nurture these young ones to be able to grow up into good citizens, adults who will take up from all of us. And so you realize that female educators, especially with a special reference to NAT members. We have done a lot